Hey guys, it's Nick from Practically Tactical here. We are at Tactical Solutions here. I have Keith here. So, Keith, thank you very much for having us here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
So, we're going to do a little tour here. But before we do that, I have some viewers that are not familiar with Tactical Solutions, what you guys do, what you guys offer. Can you tell them a little bit about all the products and services you guys do here?
Sure. We started off doing the pack light uppers for the Ruger Mark series and 2245 pistols. From there, we evolved to like doing the 1022 barrels, lightweight aluminum barrels for the 1022. Started doing barrels for the Browning Buck Mark, same concept, lightweight, accurate. From there, we moved on doing things like conversions for the 1911 to 22 long rifle. We did conversions for the Glock pistols, the TSG 22 conversions, as well as we do complete rifles, the X-ring rifles, and upper conversion units for the AR-15 rifles, 22 long rifle.
All right, so obviously a bunch of rimfire, so anybody can basically accurize and lightweight any of the rimfire products for the most part, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then you also are now doing some 300 blackout stuff, which big John, I know John's a big fan, and I love John over at AAC. 300 blackout is really big, so what are you guys doing in there?
Basically, we're taking our SPX concept. We started off with the 1022 rifle, where you have the shorter barrel with the shroud permanently attached, bringing it out to a legal length, so there's no NFA paperwork. And we did that concept with 300 blackout. We have a 9-inch pistol length barrel with the shroud permanently affixed, bringing it out to over 16 inches. Therefore, you don't have to have an SBR, but you can still shoot your 300 blackout that pistol length system it was designed for.
That is awesome. That was going to be a big thing. Is for those that aren't familiar, basically, you can get a 22 or 300 blackout now. Basically, SBR built-in suppressed with no paperwork.
Correct.
That is awesome, guys. So what we're going to do here, Keith is going to give us a tour of their production facility back here, show you guys some stuff, show everything what you make. So let's go on the tour.
All right, sounds good. Basically, we've got our steel and aluminum. All these are going to be future X-ring receivers here. So 12-foot 6061 T6 aluminum. Once we've got the job ready and set up, we'll come over to the saw and we'll start cutting it for length. Right here, most recently, we've just been cutting our firing pin housings for our TSG 22 conversion. That's basically how they start out. Basically just walk along just like we did before. Here we have our 1022 barrels. Basically once it's been cut to length, we'll go ahead and it'll be drilled end to end, and then we'll go ahead and we'll clean them up. We'll face each end. That's how it starts out. These will start off. These are our non-threaded 1022 barrels. Here we're machining our new linear compensator. Basically it's set up to be used with some of our new products like our pistol AR-15, but it can be used on any half by 28 threaded product. It's made out of 6061 T6 aluminum and it'll have a hard coat anodized. Basically it's designed so it directs all the blasts forward, keeping the noise to a minimum for the shooter and anybody around. This is Eric Fleming, he's our day shift shop. This is Eric Fleming, he's our day shift shop supervisor. He can tell you a little bit about machining of the X-ring receivers.
It starts off with 6061 billet aluminum aircraft grade. It's a 2-aught part now with this new horizontal, the Matsura horizontal. Basically start off with op 1. Let me pull op 1 up. This machine runs off of what's called a pallet pool. It's got 11 pallet capability. It runs at times 24 hours a day. Okay, so that's how we start off with op 1. Op 1 runs 8 parts. This being a fourth axis machine, we have a lot of capabilities to make what used to be an 8-op part into a 2-op part. On the verticals, it was an 8 operation part. So op 1 starts off with the billet, held as so. After it's run, basically what we got is all these features right here, internal features, outer periphery, overall length is established on op 1. I don't have an op 1 part run right now.
When you say op,
Operation 1, yeah.
explain to those that might not. So we went from an 8-op to a 2-op. What is an op?
An operation is basically holding a piece of material in one location and machining all the features that you can with the capabilities that come with that type of work.
So before you used to have to physically move something 8 times,
Correct.
and now you're down to 2 times.
Correct.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because this, like I said before, is a fourth axis machine. It's a horizontal mill. Unlike the verticals, the spindle. Well, that's why. It's smarter than me. Look inside. The spindle sits horizontally, unlike the vertical mills that come in from the top. So we've got 4 axes: X, Y, Z, and B. B is the actual pallet moving this way, and I'll show you how that works. If this were in the machine, B actually can move like so, in 1-degree increments, which allows a lot of versatility over the verticals. We can hit this side, and this side on every one of these parts, okay, which the vertical mill cannot do. This machine is much faster than vertical mills, much more powerful, and has a lot higher capability. It runs unmanned for the most part. I can load up as many pallets as I choose to load and hit go on this thing, go home, come back in the morning, it's still running most of the time. It's very efficient. It's got what's called tool life management. And what tool life management does is we give a value to every tool that's run on this part. And that value is how many times the tool is put in the spindle and taken out. So we come up with a value by running a lot of parts and figuring the part out. It took several months to come up with these values. And we punch that value in here. Every time that it runs that tool, it puts a number in that column. At the point that we reach our notified, which this one is notified, the value, the life of the tool is 60 hits. Means it's in and out of the spindle 60 times before it's expired, worn out, basically. We've got a notified at 55, which means that once it hits 55 hits, it tells us we need to look at changing that tool out. Once it reaches the life expectancy, it won't run. And what that allows us to do is get a lot more life out of the tooling. We almost never get a broken tool on this thing, and we can manage the tool life, which leads to more productivity.
Okay.
That's an advantage to this technology. This is the new technology.
Could you estimate on how long it takes to make one of your X-ring uppers in this machine here?
Oh, geez. I had this figured out a while back. I'm going to guess, don't hold me to this, I want to say it was about 35, 40 minutes per.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fast.
That's quick.
And the advantage to that is not only are you getting more material removal for each op, but there's less hands-on. There's no setup time. This machine's always set. It's a dedicated tooling type machine. We set up jobs and we leave them set up. This is not the type of machine that you typically see in a job shop. You see horizontals in job shops, but you won't see this type of a setup in most job shops. This is a production shop setup.
Okay.
This is for making lots of parts, the same parts. So we have certain parts that are very high volume designated to this machine.
Okay.
Okay. X-ring obviously is one of our top
Yeah.
high volume parts. Okay, so to go back to where I was at, top one, like so, does all the internals, the periphery, that end, because the machine can turn at all different angles. Okay? Let me pull up op 2. Okay, this is operation number 2. And in operation number 2, I'll show you the work holding here. So what we've got is we've got a spud that's cut to a very precise dimension that very closely fits the internal dimensions of Op1. And we hold this very, very close for several reasons, for the functionality of the gun, but also to fit on our Op2 fixture. If it doesn't fit right, we get slopped. That's not good. That doesn't help precision machining. So Op2 fits onto the fixture itself. Op2 basically machines all the side holes, our 15 MOA Picatinny rail, our engraving, and our ejection port. And after Op2 is done, that is a complete X-ring receiver other than deburr and anodizing.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay, so this is the back of the machine. This is where the tool changer is. Our tool changer is essentially a robot. If you look at this right here, that yellow unit right there is the tool changer. As the machine runs the program for a particular part in the program is a tool call out. The machine knows where every single tool is in our tool library. We currently have a little over 100. Those are all the tools run on every job that we have set up currently on this machine, which is X-ring receivers, multiple ops, X-ring bolts, our TSG slides, which is also 2-op part, used to be a 7-op part, and yeah, that's it. Currently, I do.
And then when we were talking earlier, you said I think we use about 10 bits per.
It depends.
Approximately 10.
Yeah,
For
10
the
to 15 typically on Op1. I think it's right around 15 on Op1, right around 10 on Op2. So when it reads it in the program and calls for a tool, this tool changer will actually come and grab the tool out of the library here, put it in the back of the machine where the tool changer, and as it's running, it will load it into the machine.
Okay.
I'll do a demonstration of the tool, pulling up the tool, how the tool changer works. This is how we would change a tool most of the time.
Okay.
You know, if for some reason my tool life management says, you know, a tool is at its life expectancy and needs to be changed, I will come back here and I can do this while it's running. I can pull a tool out, replace it, put it back in without disturbing the run of the machine. Okay. So I've just bypassed the main part of the machine. I'm going to pull up tool 2. This is an ISCAR sumo drill. This is a very high-performance drill used in our TSG slides. And this does what's called plunge roughing. We punch a bunch of large diameter drilled holes into the internals of our TSG slide, and that very much speeds up the roughing out of the inside of the plate. Doesn't look like a drill, but it is. Okay, so let's say I change the drill out. Typically the machine would still be running. Puts it back, knows exactly where it goes. At that point, if I was going to reset my tool length, some tools we have to, some we don't. Some are indexable carbide inserts that you typically don't have to reset Z0 on. The end mills, a lot of your other cutting tools, you do have to reset every time. It's very critical because we're holding, you know, half a thou to a thou tolerance on a lot of these dimensions.
And then you said this bin right here of all these shavings, when you're running hardcore, you empty this out twice a day.
Yes, when this thing is really humping and it's running 24/7, this is twice a day.
Wow.
This thing can make some chips. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to change anything. But at this point, let's say I changed out that tool and I wanted to reset it, I would pull up a separate program, which is the tool touch off program, which is linked to this laser probe right here. It's a Renishaw laser probe, and that works very similarly to a garage door. It's a constant laser from here to there. They meet, and it's a known location. So I would run the program and tell it which tool I was setting. It would bring the tool down. It would run the tool right in between the laser until it broke the laser. Then it touches it a couple times and it sets the length of the tool to the spindle nose. And it's accurate within 10,000ths of an inch. This thing will hold a couple tenths all day long. It's amazing.
Awesome. Hey, well, thank you very much.
Sure.
I'm sure all the owners will now, or future owners will appreciate me leaving you alone to make more stuff here so they can get their rifle sooner. So, there it is there, guys. Machine's going to get back to work without me here.
That's a raw X-ray. That then goes to deburr and then plate. It gets serialized and it's customer's gun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. So these guys right here are these are the firing pin housings for the TSG 22 conversions. And basically, it's done the top off, and then we flip it around. It's gonna, when this pallet loads, we'll go ahead and deck off the bottom here and do the bottom off. So basically, you'll end up with a finished part just like this. From there, they will go ahead and drill the hole for the firing pin channel, do the breech face. Once again, that's just starting off as a block of aluminum. And after these two operations, that's how it finishes off. Very cool. Awesome. I don't think anything is going on. Well, what? What these machines looks like. Empty without power. Oh, it's fine. I just what it looks like there. We basically have the same concept as the TSG firing pin housings. Basically start off with the block, it does the first operation, cuts the big tinny slots in the rail. Once those are cut, it comes over to this pallet, we flip it over and then does the bottom side. This is the rail for the 1022 receivers. What's that guy there? This is the threaded in 1022 barrel. Fits our X-ring receivers as well as any 1022 style receiver. That uses the standard chain candle. And that is light? It is light. Once these barrels are finished, it is 15.2 ounces. Wow. So from there, we'll anodize it, we'll do any finish work, and install the steel liner. Similar concept, we have the barrels for the Browning Buckmark. We call these the trail light barrels. These are where they're at in aluminum. From here, they'll get any finish work, deburr, and then they'll go to anodize. After that, we'll go ahead and install the liner. The machine stainless steel block fits right in there. And ready to go to the customer. So our pack light barrel, this is the 4.5 inch threaded in. Basically, it's 6061 T6 aluminum again. It's all ready to be, whether it get bead blasted for a matte finish, get polished for the bright colors. Then we'll go ahead and insert the aligner, put on things like the sides, scope base, and ready to go to the customer.
And which part is that for?
This is the pack lights for the Ruger Mark series in 2245 pistols.
Okay. See 22 rails down here.
Yeah, all
Lots
this is
of cool stuff.
got all the stuff for our 1911 conversions. Got the barrels, the different sight rail options, whether somebody wants the combo rail with the Picatinny or the standard rail, allows them to fit most 1911 holsters. As well as the slide itself.
So then basically once the parts are all manufactured, they come to here, and then where do they go after that?
From here, they'll get pulled for orders depending on what colors we're looking to build, what we want. They'll go into our assembly while they get to bird, and then we'll either do a polished finish or a bead blast finish on these.
Okay.
See the difference? Here's the barrel once it's been bead blasted. Basically anything that gets our matte anodized will be bead blasted prior. As compared to the more of the polished look of the barrels that get the bright colors.
Those are under a pound. That is amazing.
Correct.
So then the next step is assembly.
Assembly.
All right. So what's on the bench here?
This is our X-ring with our X-ring barrel in as well, and it's in one of our custom colors. It's a matte orange. You can see it's got the stainless steel bolt. You kind of see our guide rod system and how it's different from a standard 1022. We have the dual guide rods instead of a single guide rod system. Part of what we want to do is develop a smoother, just more accurate, consistent system.
So then this is the upper that we saw being made out there in the machine.
Correct.
The barrels that we saw just out there, and then basically this has been colored and then assembled.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
been
the upper.
assembled. It's been anodized and assembled. The only thing now we're lacking would be the trigger group and putting it in the stock.
Very cool. Obviously, you're working on a bunch over here.
Yeah, we've got a lot of complete rifles in process.
So most importantly would be if someone is interested in fighting these, where do they buy them?
You know, they can find them at some of our bigger dealers, as well as our local dealers, some of our bigger dealers, like Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields, Cabela's, as well as, we're happy to ship to any dealer. So if there's a local dealer they want to get a rifle shipped to, we're happy to do it. Our minimum order is one of something.
Awesome. Of something. So that's awesome. You guys are big supporters of brick and mortar stores then, especially local stores for people.
We are. I mean, that's really how we started building up. When we came out with our first product, the pack lights, we didn't have any sort of dealer network or any way to sell them. So one of our owners literally took a briefcase full of the different pack lights and went across the country from store to store, just showing them what we had and selling them.
That's awesome. All right, guys, so we've wrapped up our tour. Thank you so much, Keith, for having me here. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
No. So I hope you guys check out Tactical Solutions. Obviously, they can find you on Facebook. They can find you on Instagram. Instagram is
It's Tactical SOL.
Tactical SOL. You guys have some awesome pictures up there. Obviously, all these beautiful rifles you will find up there, all of their accessories. And again, for those that might maybe miss out the first part, didn't catch it, what all products do you guys sell? And after that, where can I go to buy it?
Well, we do things like the complete X-ring rifles. We do our pack light uppers, our original product for the Ruger Mark Series pistols and 2245s. We do barrels for the Browning Buck Mark. We do conversions for the 1911 to 22 long rifle, for the Glock pistols, for the AR-15, and we do the 300 blackout upper, the TSA AR-300.
It's the good stuff right there.
Yeah.
So, and then basically too is they don't necessarily have to order a full rifle. They can order the parts through people that sell your stuff, right? So if they want to
Correct.
upgrade different parts on their Ruger 1022s, they can.
Yeah, they can order each individual part here if they'd like, or they can order as a complete rifle. We originally started selling them as the individual components, and enough people came to us and said, "Well, I just want to buy the complete rifle." I was like, "Well, we better make rifles."
And again, most importantly, guys, if you basically want a 22 SBR suppressed with zero paperwork, they need to find you guys.
Correct. Yeah. Then they can do things like our SBX barrel on the X ring, where they can do it individually, and that allows them to keep the barrel short, but add the suppressor on without adding all the length.
That is fantastic. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for having us here. Really appreciate it. You guys check out Tactical Solutions. I hope you guys found this very interesting. I did about the amount of work you guys do and all the machines you have. I think it's absolutely cool, and obviously the end product is fantastic. I know when it comes to rimfire products, I mean, you guys are the top dog out there. So, again, find Tactical Solutions, guys, and we will catch you next time. Thanks.